guys are on.
Okay. Good evening. This is the Town of Dayton's Board of Selectmen's regular meeting. Today is October 25th, 2023. It is 6:30 p.m. This is also a hybrid meeting via Zoom and in person at Old Town Hall, 1111 Somerset Avenue. You can join the Zoom meeting at meeting ID 810-1189-9686. The passcode to join is 585123, and the phone number is 309-205-3325. Public input may be provided using the following methods. Contact our office at Board of Selectmen at dayton-ma.gov to provide input prior to the meeting. Via Zoom, call in by phone at 309-205-3325. And this also continually plays on Channel 9 and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Town of Dayton. This meeting is being recorded. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed, however, may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. We're going to have a call to order, please.
Good evening. Leonard Hall is present.
Nicole Mello.
And Peter Karen. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and just please stay standing because we had one of our neighbors pass this week. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since our last meeting, one resident of Dayton has passed. Lois Susan Hughes Copeland, 87, of North Dayton, passed away peacefully on Tuesday, October 10th at Morton Hospital, surrounded by her loving family. She was the beloved wife of William Copeland, with whom she shared nearly 66 years of marriage. Our thoughts and condolences go out to her family at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ferry, you're up first. At 6:32, not even 6:35. We're on time tonight. We're going to review, discuss an act for year 2024, the snowplow rates, roadway fog sealing, and parking ban notice. So whenever you're ready. You look nice tonight.
I think you look nice every night.
Thank you. So, the rates are first.
Yep.
Okay, I gave you, passed on samples. Every year we canvass the surrounding towns, and it gets tougher and tougher, as you can see. Lakeville, Berkeley, Swansea, Somerset have not responded yet. They usually hold off to see what's going on. So we're still able to get you some samples up above, Freetown, Rainham. Those two are close to our dynamic of finances and population, and Rehoboth too. Taunton's being a neighbor, so that's there also. So you can see we were lagging behind again. We set the rates. We try not to be in the bottom. We try not to be in the top, just somewhere in the middle. I'm yet to turn people away. We never. I'd like to get to the point where we're turning people away that we're all set. We've yet to see that. So what I'm proposing tonight, two new things with it. Get the rate up there. Offer a 4-hour minimum. It's usually when they call them, they're working more than 4 hours anyways. Right. But that should make it attractive. And also, sign-on bonus instead of doing a stipend like some other towns are doing.
Yep. Go
with an additional. I'm suggesting $5 an hour more per hour if they sign up by a certain date.
Yep.
The November 15th, that was proposed for the last meeting for you guys to consider because it's going to be shorter notice. I think we need to tweak that. I'll look at my calendar, make it a little further.
Have you had many sign up yet to get the 15?
No, they were all waiting for this.
See who else.
No, they were all waiting for your decision on the rates because the rates is always the biggest factor.
Sure.
Because the problem they have, especially the contractual, some of them have to get additional insurance.
Yep.
So they got to know it's worth it.
Sure. So you're comfortable with these rates?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think I'm more worried about it not looking attractive enough, that at least the ones that we had to come back. So I need to at least do that.
Okay.
What? Yeah, why don't we, I amend my proposal from November 15th to the 29th, if we get allowed to do that.
I have no issues with any of them. My concern is they might be a little too low.
Still,
Yeah.
at times rates, that 20 on top of, it,
Yeah.
that's, I don't think that's good either.
Right. But if you think that's a go, I have no issues with it. Mr. Hull?
The only question I have is there a requirement about minimum insurance coverage?
Yes, the town policy has that, yes.
Mrs. Mello, do you have any questions? Is there a motion on the floor?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we approve the proposed 2023, 2024 Dayton snowplow rates as presented this evening.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye?
I just have one question. I just want to make sure what the board is approving also includes the 4-hour minimum.
Yeah, it's not listed here, but yes.
Okay.
And did you say you wanted to change November 15th to the, did you say it's the
29th.
29th?
29th.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like to add the 4-hour minimum and change the date to the 29th.
To the 29th?
Yes. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
That's
No,
okay.
thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'd
You wanna
like
amend it?
to amend that motion, yes. I would like to make a motion to approve the proposed 23, 24 Dayton snow plowing rates to include a 4-hour minimum, an early sign-on bonus of $5 per hour if registered by November 29th at noon.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. I believe the next is, there was a mention about the parking ban.
Our roadway fog sealing, I guess we can start that now. I don't know if those who are going to attend are going to attend, so let's go with it.
The fog ceiling? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. I thought there was going to be people here with questions.
So did I,
So,
and
yes.
it doesn't appear that way, but we have to move on, so
Okay.
we can't wait for them to show for public input or,
So I can give you an update on that?
sure, if you don't mind.
All right, so the fog ceiling has been completed, and what happens after that is the crack ceiling. We're going through the 9 streets now with the crack ceiling.
Okay,
We have Chestnut left, and Wheeler, and Country Hill.
okay,
And after, we should be able to finish this week.
great.
And then after that process, when we know it's not bleeding through, or a chance of bleeding through anymore, we'll be sweeping up those roads immediately after.
Okay, I guess that was the concern of some people, how long was that
Yeah.
sand was going to just stay on the
No,
road?
yeah, we've swept it several times already. And of course, as always, they can call me with any
Yes.
questions or concerns, yes.
I think we received 2 complaints, both from the same road, and, which is unusual, because we've done this for years and never had any complaints. Like I said, both from the same road, and the 5 other streets that we did had no complaints. And
Right.
I don't know the two that complained. Without them here this evening, I can't say what their actual complaint was.
It was actually 9 roads we did,
9 roads, I'm sorry, I thought it was 6 total.
yes. So that, there were some other inquiries that I received, they're not complaints, they're more
Okay.
like about the sand, stuff like
Yeah.
what the product was. I haven't received the complaints yet.
Okay. Well, that's great news. Does anybody have any questions for
I do,
Tom?
I have a couple, and it has to do with questions that I received. And the first one
That's my phone, sorry.
And the first one has to do with the preservative fog sealer. Could you explain what that sealer includes and doesn't include? You know, one of the questions some people had is it an oil-based or petroleum-based product? And secondly, are there any properties, chemical properties in that preservative that could harm the environment?
So
Water or,
I brought two guests tonight that can speak on it more clearly, but the consistency of it is like lemonade. Don't drink it. It's not good. It is a petroleum base. There is a reaction with the asphalt that we're interested in to help excite the asphalt for the properties that they lost. When the road turns really gray, that's an oxidation. You're losing some properties, and that's when the road's failing. But after that process happens, it's, in a good condition, it's 20 minutes. There is no additional harm to the environment because it stays right on the asphalt. There's no runoff or anything like that.
there's no runoff?
No, there's not. And then when we're treating the roads, the basins are covered, the catch basins are covered. We protect that also.
Now, what does the sealant actually do?
So it does not change the surface of the road, so that's why it's important to do roads as early as possible, like Jennifer Lane's a fairly new road.
Right.
So to help preserve that, that's what we're after. In theory, and we've seen it in other cases, if you have longevity to the road, an additional 5 to 8 years, unless that math has changed. It's 5 to 8 years towards the end of the life to do something more drastic. So,
Now,
but
it
it's crucial to do it early in the road's life to hold it.
Now, it doesn't fill in cracks, is that correct?
The fog seal does not, except for the media the sand that we put on top, and that sand is only for traction because it's a little slippery for a while, for a couple days. And that sand also helps fill the open cracks, but that sand becomes part of the road with the crack filler that we're using afterwards. It's not the fiber reinforced crack sealer that you see like on the highway that peels off. It welds to it goes into the cracks and it welds to the asphalt, becomes part of it.
Now, is there a maintenance plan as to when streets are done? Because one of the concerns that I heard from Country Hill was that road had been done a long time ago and now they were sealing it. And I was just curious of what is the process, one, to determine which roads are done, and is it a money issue or is it a time issue?
Well, as we all know, money is a huge issue. The dollar amount in the pavement management plan is around $80,000
80?
to do that road by itself for a minor repair. We spent just a little more than the $80,000 for the 9 roads to preserve them until we can have the funds to do that road properly. I do know the people on Country Hill are very concerned about their roads and they'd like something done. They may not be happy with the results. This is not a permanent results, but this is also prepping the road for actual asphalt when we can afford that. Because this could be used in conjunction with it, so they're actually going to get a better product out of this.
Thank you.
What's that?
Communication with the public, how is that handled? And letting people know that their road is going to be done?
So usually when there's an event like that, historically in our town now that we have electronics, it's the Facebook and the website, and the executive office took care of that for us before it commenced. And I believe it was weather pending on the notice too, so we had a little lag on, because it was posted for 2 days, but we had, I think it took like 4 days to complete it because of the weather. It's all based on a drying factor while we're there, for that reaction that we're looking for.
Do you know how many homes were actually?
Impacted?
Yes.
No, I do not. Out of the 9 roads, no, I wasn't ready for that question.
No, one of the things that I had heard, people, they were surprised when their street was done. So I'm just wondering if there's anything we could do to improve communication without running up a huge expense.
So if it's like one or two roads, obviously we can use our message boards, but there's no way of doing that message board with 9 roads when the truck is coming into town to hit multiple streets. The only thing we can base on, outside of a mass mailing or certified mail, and that's an additional expense. And then if you miss the target date because of weather, that complicates things drastically, because they've had issues with that in other towns. When they miss the target date, now you have vehicles in the way, so.
Now, budget-wise, does that come out of your Chapter 90 money, or does that something we budget within the town?
The fog ceiling,
The ceiling, yes.
yes, that's a Chapter 90 project, yes.
So each year, you know you have X amount of money coming in, and that tells you how many roads you can do?
Yes, working with the payment management plan, and plus a major project we have in South Dayton, we have to set a certain portion of that aside, because our town funds cannot afford that road alone.
Right.
So we're doing multiple years in a Chapter 90, but yet still trying to get some longevity out of the existing roads we have. Some roads I know are in worse conditions, but they're technically already a loss. For example, Old Somerset Ave, that originally was one of my candidates for the fog seal, but with that trench going along the whole way, that's gonna be more money to restore that one. So we put our efforts elsewhere.
You know, I like the fact we have a rationale for the streets we're doing in hard copy. This beta report is excellent. And this is what you use in determining which roads are done, is that correct?
That, and yes, local knowledge of what I have, yes, and working with the financial team we have.
I'm just wondering if, without spending the additional expense, that we could do more of getting the word out of the streets that are going to be done, either using the Board of Selectmen meeting or Facebook, more notification. So, that, you know, more than,
We can try, and it'd be nice if my office actually received the complaints or inquiries, so I can, target what the actual needs are. Like I said, it's very little information's coming to me. I know the Selectmen's office, one hiding behind a computer there, she's been bombarded, but they don't call me, so unless maybe I'm too intimidating.
well, I don't think that's the case. You're usually out on the road, working, but you do have a staff.
Did you guys have anything else to add that I may have missed?
No, I think you're doing a great job.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mrs. Mello, do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay, great. Tom, thank you very much.
Okay.
You did a great job, and the roads look great.
We're trying.
I know you are. Thank you.
Say, is there anything else?
No, I think that's it for now.
On the
Oh,
agenda was
Parking ban.
I'm sorry.
parking ban. Yeah, that one's important.
Yes, happens every year.
Don't do it. So, yes, if we could promote that, and if we can utilize our efforts again with electronics on the Facebook and/or website,
Yep, absolutely.
parking ban.
Yep,
So when they have a ticket, they shouldn't be complaining.
sure. Do we have many that do this?
We have several streets with repeat offenders. Obviously, November 1st is not here yet.
Yep,
But the parking ban is a town by law. It's from November 1st to April 1st. No overnight parking.
Yep.
It's actually from midnight to 6, but no overnight parking. Don't test it.
yep,
It really complicates our response, especially
Sure.
for the surprise treatments of roads and stuff like that.
yep. I mean, we've done this every year, so if people don't know by now, unless you're a newcomer, I find it difficult to believe that they would still
Right.
do it. But it's not something that sticks in your head on Thanksgiving Day or something like that.
Right.
Thank you.
Let's get it done. Thank you guys for your efforts, too.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have any concerns? Yeah?
Going back to the road fog ceiling matter, when this first, people were starting to make complaints, I just wanted to commend Mr. Mullen, Leanne, and Karen for all of their efforts and how diplomatically they tended to the requests and concerns of the residents who did call the Board of Selectmen's office. We all received a letter that's in the packet. It was an excellent explanation and helped to relieve a lot of the concerns that those who called had. And I want to thank you for that.
Thanks, Karen.
Great, thank you, Lenny.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Kevin Smith. Where'd you go, Kevin? Hi. We have Kevin Smith from Parks and Recreation as chairman. We're going to review, discuss, and act donation from the Pickleball League in the amount of $852.73. Great job.
Yeah, so I'll just give you guys kind of like a brief overview of the event. So on Saturday, October 14th, the Dayton Pickleball League held its first annual pickleball tournament. Myself and the other commissioners had the pleasure of stopping by the tournament, and we witnessed a tremendous turnout for the event. The parking lot was packed with cars, and the courts were full of players actively playing matches or waiting on deck for their turn of the action. They had a total of 36 players enter the event. They had individuals broken up into separate skill levels, kept cumulative points totals for all players, and at the conclusion of the tournament, they awarded pickleballs and jars of pickles to the winner of each category, beginners, intermediate, and advanced. I thought that was comical and a really good idea. The reason why the Pickleball League held this tournament was to raise funds for court improvements. The courts are starting to show their age. They have some pretty severe cracks in them, and we've got a good handle on keeping them clean, but we want to get them fixed. So they were actually able to raise the $852.73 as part of their tournament efforts. Representatives from the league presented a check to Parks and Rec at our last regular meeting on Monday the 16th, and then they requested that the commission utilize the funds to help with repairing cracks in the pickleball/tennis courts surfaces. Our commission voted unanimously to accept the donation and honor their request for the use of funds.
Sure, great. And when will you start the repairs, or are you waiting for collectively to get more funds?
So we actually have to have a company come in, and I did explain this to them as well, is it's not your typical, it's not like doing a street repair where you can just fill it with asphalt
Sure.
crack filler. There's a little bit of a process. I've actually been talking to the town of Somerset quite a bit because they're in the process of revitalizing one of their courts and building an additional one, so they might be having a contractor come down who actually did our courts originally.
Great.
To work on theirs, so I'm trying to collaborate with them, so hopefully both towns can try to catch them at the same time. Because typically what's done with these courts is they actually V-cut out those cracks,
Okay.
fill them, and then there's a special type of tape and a sealer that goes over it so it doesn't continuously just deteriorate.
Great.
So I'm working on that. I think with winter fast approaching, it's unlikely that it will get done, but we're hopeful to have it done or be ready to mobilize that and do it in the spring.
Right.
So
I think you guys done a great job. My wife used to play, but unfortunately her schedule changed, so she doesn't, but she loved it. And to go from just a handful of people to 36 players is phenomenal. And it's great that you guys raised those funds. I understand that you even donated some leftover food to the Council on Aging. And thank you for that. I'm sure they well appreciate that, too. Mr. Hull, do you have any comments? You all set?
I just have one thing to say. I don't know what it is about pickleball players, but like, they're just self-sufficient. You guys know what you want, you go out, you work hard, and you get it, and I mean, and you're so giving. Maybe I should take up pickleball, I don't know. But thank you very much.
they're much nicer too than I've ran into a few tennis ball players and I've had much better.
Yeah, you know what, tennis, they're kind of mean.
Yeah, they're a little bit
It's a little
like, who are
aggressive,
you?
yeah.
And that's like,
Well, like I said, it's great, and it's great that you do this for the town. I'm sure many people come in from outside, and everybody appreciates what you do and what the committee does. Thank you very much. We also have a review and discuss and act a donation of 4 yards of sand from the Stedman's family.
Peter, just to interrupt real quick, we do actually have a recognition.
Okay, I was going to do
Yeah, I
that
wanna
next, but, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we
I'm
can-
sorry, that's actually out of order. I'm sorry, I interrupted again.
Thanks, Mike.
micromanagement.
Yeah. Obviously, it was simple. They donated the sand for the sand, play boxes.
Yeah, so actually what happened, a town resident had reached out, the Stebbins family. They were doing a project at their home and they had a pretty good surplus of sand from that project. So Mr. Stebbins had asked myself if we had a use for it. And now that North Dayton's been in for about a year or so with all the little diggers
Sure.
and things like that, we were starting to get some craters and stuff, so it was actually kind of perfect timing. I coordinated with the highway department. We were able to pick it up
Great.
from him and deliver it to the to the playground. So we just wanted to express our thanks to the Stebbins family for thinking of us
Sure. That's very nice.
for
of them.
use with that sand.
Sure.
In regards to the first item, the donation, does the Board of Selectmen vote to accept that, or is that something the Park and Recreation will do? Since it's going to their account?
The BOS has traditionally voted to accept the gifts. We're actually working on internally trying to modernize that process. So we have so we do have a more uniform application of it, but I would recommend that the board for this part actually vote to accept it, just so we have it now.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the donation from the Dayton Pickleball League in the amount of $852.73 to go to the Park and Recreation Gift Fund.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Thank you, Lenny, for bringing that up.
In regards, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
In regards to the gift, the donation of 4 yards of sand, should a letter come from the Board of Selectmen, or should it come from Park and Rec?
Could it be a joint?
Yeah, I think anything like this, I kind of like with our next agenda item is, I think anytime we can do something, jointly,
Sure.
save on postage too. So, no, I think if we do something that comes from both of us.
You could hand deliver it too, that would save on postage.
This is true, and I see some of the groups I see often enough, so we could certainly do that. But yeah, I would like to see us do it jointly if possible.
Great,
Mr.
thank you.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that a letter of thanks and appreciation be sent by the Dayton Board of Selectmen and the Dayton Park and Recreation Commission to the Stebbins family for their donation of 4 yards of sand.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Thanks again, Lenny. Certificate of recognition to the members of the Dayton Pickleball League for their dedication in volunteering and fundraising to continuously improve the pickleball courts. Do you want me to read this letter, or do you want to read it?
I can read it.
Okay, if you don't mind.
So at our Parks and Recreation Commission regular meeting on October 16th, we voted unanimously first to establish a yearly certificate of recognition jointly with the Board of Selectmen to be awarded to an individual or group who goes above and beyond to support the Parks and Recreation Commission. And then I had just simply asked, and we had discussed this at a prior meeting, that we do take on this venture together. Also in that meeting, we voted unanimously to recommend that the Dayton Pickleball League be awarded the 2023 Certificate of Recognition. When the Parks and Recreation Commission was originally approached with the request to establish pickleball courts, we weren't just asked to do something for the community. The Dayton Pickleball League immediately asked, how can we help? From painting court lines, raising funds for nets and equipment, raising funds for courts repairs, and even help keeping our facility clean. The members of the Dayton Pickleball League have gone above and beyond to help the Parks and Recreation Commission bring this wonderful and very popular activity to our town. We feel their commitment to continuously supporting our commission and the sport they love is very deserving of recognition, not only by our commission, but by the town of Dayton as well.
Like I said, you guys have done an outstanding job. I hear nothing but great things about pickleball, and thank you. And we have a certificate from the town. It's Town of Dayton Board of Selectmen, 979 Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Mass. 02715. certificate of recognition. We, the undersigned, do hereby recognize the Dayton Pickleball League, to whom we extend our sincere appreciation for your exemplary contributions to the town of Dayton and the Parks and Recreation Commission. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the great seal of the town of Dayton to be affixed on this 25th day of October 2023. And it's signed by the three Board of Selectmen and Mr. Kevin Smith. If you don't mind, right here. And who likes to accept it on behalf of the Board of Selectmen?
So we have Joe Cronin and Deborah Klibanoff here tonight, who are like the ringleaders of pickle. But we know Deborah's the ringleader. Come on up, Deb. Did you know I was making you come so I could get you up in front and embarrass you? Okay, great.
That's what you said. The first thing you wanted to do was embarrass you.
Embarrassing.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate everything that you
You
do.
need to come down and learn, because we teach you.
Oh, really?
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Kevin for just listening to
Sure.
all our requests, but I also want to say, we have about 230 people on our roster.
Yes, I
who
heard.
on any given day will come and play, and not just from Dayton. We're
Yeah.
pulling in people from all the surrounding towns, because we don't charge a fee like some of the other people
Sure.
do, and we're very friendly.
Great.
You don't charge a fee and you're self-sufficient. I like that.
Yes, yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deb. I just want to like kind of add to that too, is, you know, Parks and Rec, we're so appreciative of all their help, because, you know, as almost everybody knows, like Parks and Rec ourselves, we're a volunteer commission, so anytime another group of volunteers can come in and help us, I mean, I think pickleball is like the best example you could give of being able to actually get something done. We get a lot of requests, but sometimes we're just unable to facilitate them because we don't have the manpower. So it's thank you for setting an example for the rest of the town. I hope everybody else takes a couple notes and, you know, bring an army and we can get a lot more done. So thank you all.
Yes, Dave.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Kevin. Say someone wants to learn about pickleball, what do you recommend? They take a walk down there on a Saturday, or they call somebody, or what would be the best
They
method?
call me, members on the website,
Okay,
and we do teach on Thursdays. Thursday is beginner's night, so if somebody calls and says they want to come down, we'll meet them there and we'll teach them.
what time Thursday was that?
We play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 5 o'clock, and Saturday mornings at 9.
Excellent.
But if they want to learn, they can just call me and we'll make a special trip down. We have rackets that they can use. They don't have to bring any equipment.
And the website they would go to contact you, or? Oh, sorry about that.
DaytonPickleball.playerlineup.com.
Excellent.
You know, we can, I'll send that
If you Google
over and we can put it on our website.
Yeah, it'll come right up. You guys probably get a lot here on that site.
I'll add a link to the Parks and Rec website that will bring people, because it is popular. It'll be just another spot besides Facebook that people could find it and jump right over to the player lineup
I
page.
Google Dayton Pickleball, it comes right up.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith. Sue Maderas, you're up. How are you?
Good, how are you guys doing?
Good. Sue Maderas from the Holiday Committee Chairman, is the Holiday Committee Chairman, and we're going to review, discuss, and act facilities request for the annual Lights On ceremony. You're back again.
I'm back again. Where did the year go to?
Gee, it flew by, didn't it?
Oh my God, it sure
It seems like
did.
just
It
yesterday when I
sure
was up on
did.
that platform having to sing with Mr. Pacheco.
Well, I informed our new town clerk, Shara. We just had a holiday committee meeting at 6, so kind of ran over here.
Sure,
Tom.
thank you.
And I told her, I says, you do know you have to get up there and sing. And she said, oh, I love to sing. I said, oh, it's good, because I don't. I'm not I don't mind, you know, the introductions and, you know, but, yeah, we're excited.
Sure.
We're looking forward to it. Saturday, November 25th, always the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's always an open invitation to the Board of Selectmen, Mr. Mullen, and of course Karen's always welcome to to come and join us that night.
Sing.
Usually the dignitaries kind of go up on stage around 10 to 5, something
Okay.
like that. But come earlier, mingle, have a cup of coffee, hot chocolate, hot dog, piece of cake, popcorn, whatever. We have a little bit of everything.
Sure.
We are excited. I don't know if you know, well, you do know, we're a very small committee, very small committee. We have three new members this year. No, two, because Heather was last year. So we have Trista from Primetime.
Yep.
And we have Shara. We lost a couple of members this year, so it was good that 2 new ones came on.
Sure.
And everybody just rolls up their sleeves. There's not
And
many
goes
of
to
us,
work.
there's like 6 of us, you
Yep.
know. But the one I really need to reach out and give a huge thank you is Tom. He just goes above and beyond for us, not only as Tom Ferry, but also Tom Ferry Highway Superintendent. I don't know if anybody noticed the big, beautiful tree that was planted. Very expensive.
Sure.
But it's beautiful, and that thing's gonna grow and grow, and 100 years from now, when our ancestors or, you know, whatever they are, you know, kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, whoever they may be, you know, they're gonna enjoy that tree, but it's beautiful.
I'll be around to tell them where it came from.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will, and Tom will be there too. Tom will be around.
Absolutely.
Tom will be around, but they go so above and beyond. I'll be totally honest, we could not do this annual holiday tree lighting without Tom.
Oh, absolutely.
And his group.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we have 2 people that are elves. We have Doreen, who's always been our elf, but this year Jeff, we have a new elf. He's also from the highway department, and so we're gonna have 2 elves this year.
Cool.
We're training. We're training.
Oh, we can put one on the shelf?
That's right. Oh, my daughter goes crazy with that thing.
Oh, does she?
So I have been in touch with Santa and Mrs. Claus up in the North Pole. They have confirmed that Dayton is always at the top of their list. They will be here. Our main goal right now is, you know, like I said, we rolled up our sleeves, you know, everybody's, you know, something is delegated, like somebody will take care of the, you know, baked goods, somebody will take care of the paper products, somebody will take care of the, whatever it may be. So it gets done.
Yeah.
It really, really gets done. So we're looking forward to that. We have a little bit of work ahead of us this year. We'll have that tree to decorate. We have to decorate the tree that stays in here also. There's a few things to do,
Great,
you know?
thank you.
And the only thing that I like to say is, this continues because of the kindness of the residents of this town and the businesses with their donations. We were very lucky that we brought in some good money last year in donations, but that goes fast. It goes fast, you know, when you're paying $900 for a tree, or, you know what I mean, and you buy the decorations. And so we will be doing our annual fundraising, where we'll send out letters to all the, they'll go out probably next week. Just bought the stamps today. Do you realize how expensive stamps are right now? Oh, my goodness. So we'll get those letters out, and a lot of businesses come through for us every
Sure.
year. And also the night of, we put out the donation jars, and people have been really good about, you know,
Good.
putting, you know, helping us out. So we look forward to another wonderful evening. You know, I don't know, Tom, if there's anything you want to add, or?
It can be all fine, but the tree that's in this room that's coming, because it's very busy in that corner over there.
We're gonna change it, right, this year?
Yeah, I'm actually sitting here, it might actually be good right behind where you are, right in that little corner right there.
Okay.
If you guys are.
Sure.
amenable to that, it shouldn't interfere with any meetings that are going on, you can walk up the ramp around it, and
Great.
it'll be more accessible too, because accessibility is a little bit of an issue.
Okay.
That'll make it more accessible for that.
Accessible, yep.
Yeah,
Great.
we used to put Santa and Mrs. Claus up there, and the little trinkets that we give out to the kids, like
Sure.
little elves. But I think we're gonna move it down here, because it is, you know, and that's your spot, so we're gonna move everything to the front of
Okay.
your desks this year.
Good.
I'm looking forward to, right after Halloween, Tom will start decorating, you know, the tree and the outside, the lights. I'm trying to think, I don't know if you have any questions
No,
for me?
well,
or-
I don't. Tom, I don't know how many times or how many ways we can thank you, but
Yes.
thanks again.
Yes, he he just coordinates everything, the
I know he
fire,
does,
police, Santa leaves, he's just, I'll be honest, we couldn't do it without him.
No, absolutely
We just
not.
couldn't do it without him, so, thank you. But again, the other 5 committee members also work so hard.
Sure.
Everybody, works hard, everybody just loves it. You can tell they're doing it because they really enjoy doing it. It's not a chore for them, it's not because, oh my God, I gotta do this again. It's not that at all. They really, really enjoy it. It's just seeing the kids that, on that night, when they see Santa, or Santa's coming down on the, on the train, or, and, they're eating popcorn or cake. It's just great.
Sure,
just
it's a great time.
So, and I love it. And as long as I've got my health, and we'll continue to do it, God willing. So.
Then we need a motion on the floor to authorize the Lights-On Committee to use the pavilion and the Old Town Hall and the land around it, if somebody wants to make that motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the Dayton Holiday Committee's facility request for Dayton Old Town Hall and the surrounding campus for November 25th, starting at 3:30 p.m. till 6:30 p.m. with the conditions that the required food permits be obtained.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Well, congratulations, we have another one under our belt.
Thank you, and just don't forget, bring your singing voices.
Yes,
and-
I will.
And we look forward to right around the corner.
Yes,
Right around
it
the
is.
corner.
It'll be here before you know it.
It will be. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for
Have a
coming.
good night.
We're going to have public input. Now, there's no public here other than this young lady. And then is there anybody out there on TV that wants public input?
Mr. Carpenter?
Okay.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, come on up and just give your name and address and what you'd like to talk about.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa St. Laurent, 366 School Lane. And I thank you for taking the time to hear my story on how a nonprofit organization called Four-Legged Angels has impacted my life. In June of 2023, I sent my 2 dogs to Professional Canine Services for training. Dayton Police Officer Hathaway had referred me to them as they trained our police comfort dog, Oki. One of my dogs was being trained on the basics as she is a little stubborn. She's a boxer. And the other was our golden retriever, Callie, who is now my son's guide dog who attends DMS with him. While picking up my pups, they were chatting with us about needing a foster home for 2 labs for their nonprofit organization called Four-Legged Angels and asked if I knew anyone who fosters. This organization trains dogs as service and therapy dogs and donates them at 0 cost to veterans and first responders in need. My instant reply was, throw them in my truck. I will foster them. I'm pretty sure I shocked them with this response. I've never seen 3 men run around as fast as they could to get me every supply I could possibly need for them, crates, foods, bowls, etc. The organization relies on foster homes to help love them, give them some mini training, exposure to other dogs, kids, and in this particular home, lots of noise and craziness. The passion and dedication these men have for these animals and their future owners is absolutely astonishing. They donate many hours to obtain, care for, and train these animals and continually work with veterans or first responders to ensure all their needs are met. What our military and first responders have gone through and continue to go through is heartbreaking and painful. The things they see that can never be unseen. What they did not know that day and know now, I am a first responder, an EMT, who also suffers from PTSD and had not worked on the ambulance for almost 2 years. These dogs have comforted me on bad days, forced me to get up and care for them, and pushed me outside my comfort zone by forcing me back into the world to get them the environmental exposures. I have continued to foster for them, and I feel like I now have a purpose in life. I'm also back on the ambulance. Having service therapy dogs are a huge help to get through some really tough days. These dogs have helped me get through the tough days, which are extremely less now. Knowing I get to be a part of their recovery is priceless. The guys are always thanking me, but I'm thankful for them for giving me my life back and allowing me to care for such precious cargo. I'm now an official member of the Four-Legged Angels family and continue to promote this amazing organization by fostering dogs, fundraising, and bringing pups out into the community to spread some extra cheer. The smiles that these dogs bring everyone I come in contact with is priceless. As you can see, I also have a pup with me tonight. This is Georgia, who is a golden retriever who is in training now to be a certified therapy dog. Our goal is to take her into schools, nursing homes, primetime, veteran homes, and more to brighten the days of all those we come in contact with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
If anyone felt they had a need for a comfort dog, who would they reach out to?
So we have a Facebook page, Four-Legged Angels, and we do have a website. If you go into Professional Canine Services, we have a link to the Four-Legged Angels, and you can reach out to me. You could reach out to Charlie, who's the founder and CEO. He's trained over 140 different law enforcement in Massachusetts alone. Last year, he rescued 70 dogs from Last Chance shelters and donated them and trained them to veterans and first responders in need.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I guess I'm a little, what is it that you would like from us?
I just wanted to come tonight and
Okay.
tell you, I'm gonna be out in the community with these dogs. I'm gonna be popping by to give smiles to people. And I just wanted to let everyone know about the amazing organization, and if we know of any veterans or first responders who are in need. Like I said, I did suffer from PTSD for
Sure.
2 years. Now our website is great, but at the time, there was nowhere for me to look for EAP. There was nothing on the website. I had got in contact, I was given 2 wrong numbers when I was calling and finally realized I was in trouble. I ended up doing it all on my own, went to counseling on my own, so I kind of had to fight for myself.
Right. I guess a little bit of a concern is the dog going into the schools in public places that are owned and run by the town of Dayton.
I have a liability policy on her.
Well, that was part of it, as well as, don't take this the wrong way, but are you trained enough to
Yes.
control this dog in all situations?
So if you think of like a service dog and a therapy dog, so a therapy dog, and you can look it up on Massachusetts website, it does include therapy dogs go into schools and they go into nursing homes. So their task is not to individually support me. Their task is to support other people.
Okay.
So that is their task. She's not an emotional support animal. She's a therapy dog. So there is a little bit of a difference.
Sure.
So yes, I am qualified to take her. I'm
Okay.
also an EMT, so if someone gets hurt, I can help. I do have my own liability policy on her with FJ Torres.
Okay.
So it can be verified, and they
Sure.
have said that anytime I go anywhere, that they are more than happy to provide a certificate of liability for that date I'm there. But she does have, like I said, the rights to go places because she does perform a service.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great service. I've got to tell you, like I said, and this is nothing against the town, but when this started, there was different boards, there was different administration. I suffered PTSD from a call I was on in Dayton. I was on an ambulance call in Dayton, and I had no help. These dogs are what saved me, nothing else. And I don't want another first responder or a veteran or a person to have to suffer the way I did. I didn't leave my house. I didn't work the ambulance. I love working the ambulance. Like, that's my joy. I don't do it because it's a job. I do it part-time because I love it. Like, it's fun for me, like, knowing I can hold someone's hand and just make them feel better or comfort them in a serious time of need. And I just don't want anybody to ever suffer. I've actually reached out to Taunton as well. Taunton, and well, it's local. They have a SEMLEC team that they have an incident crisis management, and I'm trying to partner with them that if there is an officer-involved shooting or a critical incident where they need to be called into the towns, that I can meet them with the dog and they can take that into the officer or the first responder in need. I'm also working on trying to fundraise for them so I can get them their own dog.
Sure.
But it's huge. It's all over the world now, and it's making a difference. We've all been through a lot with COVID. We've been trapped, stuck.
Sure.
And if I can just make one person happy,
Great.
I'm paying $1,000 for liability just so I
Sure.
can volunteer and make people happy, if that makes you feel better.
Mr. Hull, do you have any concerns?
No, not a
Questions?
concern. I was just wondering, have you reached out to the Board of Health?
I have not. I have for a kennel license, but Jim's
No,
on
I
vacation.
don't mean that as in, to get the word out, because they do
Not
have
yet.
a webpage, so,
So prior to this, I wouldn't be here tonight. It's, even the anxiety, I had to walk out of the room a little bit and kind of
Okay.
get her to reset me a little bit. But I
See-
wouldn't have been here speaking. I wouldn't.
well,
So to me, this is, huge for me, so I'm trying to get out there now and really push the word on this.
because the Board of Health has their own webpage.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if they would give you some space.
And I'd love something where if somebody had a fire, right? What do we do for our town residents? If there's a fire, what does the town do? Do we help them? Do we clothe them? Do we
Oh,
do
absolutely.
anything?
Yeah, they're not left without help from the town.
That's what I was asking, like, what do
Yeah.
we do? Maybe add in where a therapy dog goes. Something like that, or
I
somebody's.
think Oki right now attends those events.
Yeah, so Oki is one dog and
Yeah.
limited. So we do have Oki, but he's how many hours a week? Do we, so it never hurts to have more than one.
Sure.
Like I even wrote with Officer Hathaway, I'd love to partner with him and really just, that dog can't be everywhere. I love
Right.
Oki. And like I said, it was Officer Hathaway who partnered me with this company.
Okay.
But he can't be everywhere, and
Right.
maybe just having another person to make you smile.
Sure. Okay.
Thank
Mrs.
you so
Mello,
much.
do you have any questions?
I just wanted to mention, you had said that you were looking for resources and you felt alone. I just want residents to know they can always reach out to me as a public health nurse, and I will try to help folks find resources, because I know it's very difficult to navigate these things. And off the top of my head, no, I wouldn't be able to dish out a bunch of resources, but I know other town nurses. I have a big pool to pull from, so if any other residents ever feel the same way as you, I want them to reach out to me, because
Yes,
nobody
and-
should be alone.
Correct, and it's very different now, like it's we're getting emails, it's on the website, there's been a lot of progress, and I love it. Like I said, I just didn't have it, I'm not blaming anyone, it's,
Sure.
things happen, and the stigma's there. I didn't really want to go in and talk about it a lot. I didn't want to, like some of the other calls, I'm like, oh, these guys have been on worse calls than me, why am I feeling the way I am? And the one thing that I've learned, and I've been through therapy and working it out and got resources, you have to talk about it. You have to. It doesn't matter what it is. And now that's why I'm here tonight, just
Sure.
spreading for other people to know. As scary as it is, get up there and talk.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, moving on to anybody out there that wants to be heard? No? Okay. Two announcements, please.
Prescription take-back initiative event to remove potentially dangerous controlled substances from the homes will be held on Saturday, October 28, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Dayton Police Department. This is 1458 Somerset Ave. The Town of Dayton Flu Clinic will take place on October 28, 2023. It will be at Old Town Hall, 1111 Somerset Ave, from 9 a.m. to 12. Oh, that should be p.m. Don't come at 12 a.m. You can sign up for that on the town website as well as on Facebook. The Dayton Council on Aging is holding a Halloween party on October 31st at 11 a.m., 1059 Somerset Avenue. Halloween costumes are encouraged. Please RSVP for a food count. You could call 508-823-0095. Veterans Day breakfast will be held on November 4th, 2023, to express our gratitude and appreciation to all the veterans in town. The breakfast will be held at Old Town Hall, 1111 Somerset Ave, between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. You can RSVP the veterans agent at 774-872-0944. The Veterans Day ceremony will take place on Saturday, November 11th, 2023, at 11 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial. This is 979 Somerset Avenue. The Town of Dayton Food Bank will be held next on November 18th, located at Town Hall, lower level, 979 Somerset Ave. The Dayton Council on Aging received a license through the Massachusetts State Lottery to play bingo every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Dayton Council on Aging, 1059 Somerset Ave, starting in October. Cards are $1 each. Please bring cash. The Dayton Council on Aging received a movie license through MPLC to play movies at the Dayton Council on Aging, 1059 Somerset Ave, starting in October. On Friday, 10/27 at 11 a.m., they'll be playing Hocus Pocus, and there'll be light refreshments.
Great.
That is it.
Thank you very much. Just while we're on the subject, Dave, are we going to have police detail again for the Veterans ceremony?
We only did that for Memorial Day, so I
Right.
think we have to work that out with the police department.
Okay, we'll take care of that then.
Okay.
And you want the same thing as last Memorial Day, where they diverted traffic so that,
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay.
And the only thing is, I think we're still trying to work the kinks out, so
Yep.
last time everything was perfect, but, we had the wind.
Right.
The wind was cutting into our audio real bad. So the only thing I'm hoping for, if we can make sure we get the podium early enough, like do a checklist,
sure,
because I think last year we tried using, something else.
that's great. It didn't work for us.
No.
Okay,
All right, yeah, well, we're gonna try again, I appreciate it.
all right, thank you. Moving on to the town administrator's report.
Yes, I just want to bring the board and the public up to speed. The community electric aggregation program, which the town of Dayton has been a part of and has participated in, and has been a great benefit to the town and its residents since actually 2016 now. We just actually went through an updated procurement process. In that updated procurement process, the current rate that the town has and its resident have is 10.4 cents a kilowatt hour. And that has been very helpful and beneficial to the town and its residents last winter. When actually the National Grid default rates, they increased actually up to 33 cents a kilowatt hour. And through the community electricity aggregation program, the town was able to prevent seeing the spikes, and also, also all of our residents were able to, all of our residents except for TMLP, they had the benefits of their rates being locked in as well. Unfortunately, that procurement ends in December. So, actually starting in April of 2023, efforts began to reprocure, our CEA program for another 2 years, and based on that process, we are actually part of about 35 other towns that locked in, actually with updated rates through November of 2025. And so I just want to bring everyone up to speed. That beginning December 1st, 2023, which is just over a month away now, the rates that the rates for non-TMLP customers are going to be increasing. Are going to be increasing to 17.8 cents a kilowatt hour. And even that is under the 18 point, and even that is under the 18. It is under the 18.2 cents a kilowatt hour default rate that National Grid has. So this program, is actually, is a benefit to the town and its residents even still. So we have updated all this on the website. can actually, and actually tomorrow evening, Good Energy, who is our consultant, tomorrow night, October 26th at 6, and then on Thursday, November 9th at 2, they're hosting Zoom meetings, to help anyone who has any issues, has any questions or concerns about these new rates. I just wanted to update everyone and get the information out there.
Okay.
When we have December 1st roll around, everyone's up to speed.
Great.
So that's all I have. If there's any questions on that, I'm happy to.
Actually, I just want to read the lower part.
Yep.
Not visible. Those interested in joining Dayton's CEA program must complete an enrollment form on the program, and you may call for more information by calling Constellation at 833-461-0813. Community members can also visit the program website to review all program options available and to submit any questions via the program contact, and that program is through Constellation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is all I
Okay.
have at this
Thank
point
you.
this evening.
Selectmen's reports. Actually, before we do that, gentlemen, are you here for public input? Yes. Okay, we already had it, but we'll go back to it. We moved it up front so everybody didn't have to wait for the whole meeting.
I wouldn't be, if that's what it was.
But we'll go back to it when we do old business, okay? So that you didn't waste your time. The Selectmen's reports, for me, it's solid waste. Michael, can you just go over the numbers with me? It was 40,000 that we received, the grant?
The town has received a technical assistance grant in the amount of 80 hours of staff time.
Right.
To have the assistance, actually of a municipal assistance coordinator to help us actually take a look at our whole structure, the structure of our trash program, exactly what it does, how much it costs, and so forth. So the Solid Waste Committee actually has its next meeting on the 9th of November, and so and our consultant will be joining us for that. And we hope this will really help us place an even greater emphasis on where we're going with that program.
Okay, great. And to show you how cool we are, we're having pizza that night. So,
After I left that committee.
yeah, after you
Real
left. So
nice.
if you're on
Yeah, we planned it.
Board of Health or school committee, you don't get fed.
No.
Thank you. Mrs. Mello, you have Board of Health and Trails Committee?
Yes, so for the Board of Health, when they last met, they discussed choosing a new vendor for the trash bags. As we know, recently, we've had some challenges with the trash bags. The bottoms have been falling out. The reason for this is unknown. We do encourage residents, when their bags break, to bring them back to the Board of Health, and we will replace them. Hopefully, with this new vendor, that issue will be resolved. I want to encourage folks to remember that there's not just Hannaford's to get bags. There's Dave's new Fast Mart, Johnny's Market, Route 44 Liquors, Rochelle's Value Gas, and then 1995 Winthrop LLC. I looked that up. I think it's that gas station over on 44. As well as going back to the trash bags, they talked about looking to work on a new vendor paperwork, going over the details of when we're working with a vendor, because I guess that kind of paperwork is very old, and now that we're going into a new vendor, having a new understanding with them would be preferable.
Is there a price increase with that?
Wait, I have a whole chart. You know what? The chart's not gonna be helpful because I don't have the old, numbers on it.
Sure, that's fine. I was just curious.
Whatever, if there was, it was very minimal.
Yep,
I wanna say like $4 at the most, something around there. They did discuss the change in price, but I just don't have those numbers in front
Sure.
of me. Elizabeth did make an amazing, she needs to teach me Excel. She's really, she's amazing at that. That's all I have for Board of Health. Did anyone have any questions on any of that?
no.
Okay. For trails, I didn't make it to the meeting, but they already get their minutes out that night, so I was able to look them over. And it looks like they're going to be putting in an application to the CPC, in regards to a feasibility study for Broad Cove Nature Trail, boardwalk project. So that looks like to be their next step for that project. And they had already reached out to the CPC, and I think that they might be attending their next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank
That's
you.
all I have.
Sure, that's a lot to begin with. Mr. Hull?
Regarding Conservation Commission, they met this evening, well, actually, it's 4:30 this afternoon. One item was on their agenda, Grasshopper LLC, the Brook Street Solar Project. That project has come under the scrutiny of Stormwater, the Planning Board, and Conservation. In regards to Stormwater, there are 3 culverts that Stormwater has some concerns and has expressed those concerns to the other departments, whether it be Planning Board, Conservation, and I am through Stormwater, saying that they should come under the scrutiny of the Board of Selectmen as well. The spokesperson from Stormwater, Mrs. Goulart, has said that till the culvert issue is resolved, that action should be held up until that issue has been resolved. The Conservation Commission voted at a previous meeting, Grasshopper had asked to remove 28 trees at the site. And they made a larger request with the planning board last week, 48 trees, and the planning board approved it. Conservation for 28 did not. The Grasshopper appealed that, and they were supposed to come before Conservation today, and they couldn't make it, so it has been postponed till their next meeting. In regards to Dayton Development and Industrial Commission, one, and I believe very shortly, they're going to be coming before Open Space to talk about the zoning bylaw.
I haven't heard, but
That Serpent has put together.
okay. Actually, the draft economic development plan that they've been working on.
Right.
But they're actually a week from this evening. They're coming before us. To present what the recommendations are, in what the economic development plan recommendations will include. I have not heard anything about open space, but just because I haven't heard anything doesn't mean anything either.
Following along with that, the DDIC, one of its members is good friends with a major developer from the Cape. And we're looking to invite him to the next meeting. Actually, looking to invite him to come to Dayton to take a look and see what he sees as potential areas of growth.
So a casino down by the water?
I'm sorry?
A casino down by the water?
Well, We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have enough land for something that large. But this individual made some huge contributions to the town of Wareham at the tune of $30 million. I don't think he could do something like that for Dayton, but he could give us some ideas of what we could put in areas along the river in particular. And also taking a look at, we have some industrial and some commercial properties that are landlocked, that are not really usable because of the way they were zoned, and offering suggestions of how we could make maybe some zoning bylaw changes so that we could open up some of that land for development. The second item, there are 6 new businesses that have come to Dayton in the last month. They're small businesses, some of them are in-home type businesses. And at some point, we're all going to need to take a look at those home businesses in regards to zoning, impact in the neighborhoods, and taxes. How will they be taxed? And speaking about that, one of the things that the DDIC is suggesting, and they'll be working on and proposing, is to set a limit on personal property tax, minimum tax. If you're below the minimum, you wouldn't be subject to the personal property tax. They're hoping to work with Assessor's Office, and I'll speak about that in a moment, and the Board of Selectmen in trying to put together a warrant article for the annual town meeting in June of 2024. In January, the Board of Assessors and the DDIC, it'll be the last Monday in January at 6 p.m., will be holding an open forum on taxes and taxation. It's open to the public. Bring your questions in regards to commercial taxes, small businesses, personal property tax. And they did say that they would take some questions on individual real estate tax, but not about personal matters. In other words, if you have a personal complaint, that should be handled at the assessor's office, not at this public forum. General questions about taxes, they will gladly answer, but not specific individual problems. So that's it on development. I do have quite a bit on school committee. They met Tuesday night, but before that, I would like to say that on Saturday, October 14th, I had the opportunity to meet with Mary Pachetti, Deputy Executive Director of the Massachusetts School Building Authority, as we were both at the Bristol Plymouth Regional High School groundbreaking ceremony. Mrs. Pachetti informed me that the MSBA met on October 13th, and they voted to table a decision on the final 8 schools until their December meeting. I know at the last meeting I had talked about 16 going down to 8, and we are in the 16. They had the opportunity to visit all of the 16 schools, as they did in Dayton, so they needed more time. So they will make that decision in December. I asked her in regards to what are Dayton's chances, and she said when they get down to the final 8, it's very, very competitive. And one of the things that many people think is really important is the age of the building, but that's not necessarily a priority with MSBA. What is a priority with MSBA is the safety conditions of the building. So if a town has a building that has some serious safety issues, that would get priority over a building that's older, or even a building that's using trailers. Okay? Dayton Rehoboth Regional High School play will be November 16th and 17th. It's called The Play That Goes Wrong. It'll begin at 6:30 PM on both evenings. Tickets are $15 online and $17 at the door. Debbie Sansom was hired as the new Human Resource Manager for the Dayton Rehoboth Regional School District. And the Dayton Rehoboth Regional High School Junior Senior Prom will be May 16th. It's going to be at the Newport Wyndham Hotel in Middletown, Rhode Island. And lastly, and probably the most controversial piece of the evening, the Dayton Rehoboth Regional School Committee voted not to give a positive review to the proposed human sexuality curriculum changes being proposed by the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. They may come out with new guidelines this January. The reason why their input was so strong is that they, like other communities, are concerned about the new curriculum changes that are being proposed. And with that, they have begun having some discussion about whether or not students at all grade levels can opt in or opt out of discussions involving human sexuality in the classroom. Previously, parents could opt out by submitting, a request to opt out. But the school committee is looking at creating a policy that is more specific and that students would have to opt in as well if they chose to opt out. They will also be establishing a website so that parents will be fully informed about the new recommendations and what parents can and can't do to either opt in or opt out of the program. One of the concerns that they have is if you have a class that 90% of the students opt out, what do you do with those students? When you say you have a class of 28 and 18 opt out and 10 want to stay in the class. So this was the first reading. There'll be 2 more readings until the final policy is created. But it is something that the school committee is urging parents to be involved in. Talking to the legislators, following the website and the discussions that are going on Beacon Hill in regards to what is going to finally be the policy from the state. And also showing up at the school committee meeting to voice their input. Because this has been talked about, it was talked about the previous meeting and the first official reading Tuesday night, no one said anything. But we all know from the media how controversial this is. Thank you.
Thank you. Very thorough, as always. Thank you. Gentlemen, I'm going to ask that the board take the next thing out of order so that we can get you moving. Like I said, we already had public input. We moved it up earlier thinking that you guys were going to attend and Tom Ferry was here to answer your questions. So for now, we'll take public input. Just come up, give your name and whatever you want to say, and hopefully we can wing it with what Tom Ferry could have added for you. Is that okay with you?
That is perfectly okay.
Okay, so can I have a motion to take this out of order?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we enter into public input.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. So, gentlemen, who wants to come up first? Just your name and your address is all we need.
Good evening, Joe Figueredo, 400 Country Hill Drive. I just wanted to see if the board could elaborate a little bit on what the process of putting the sealer on the roads was all about. I'm very concerned with what was put there. I'm very concerned at the fact that we were not notified in any way that this was happening. I've already washed my truck a few times. The rims on the inside are full of sand. We had to take them off, power wash them down, and all of that. And I just want to know what the benefit of that was. We had brand new roads that got sealer. We got old roads that got sealer. I want to know, and I've been told that there was an engineering firm that made the recommendation. I've asked for that form. I haven't gotten it. I want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people in town want to know because I got probably more calls than the town hall did.
Yeah, you must have.
I just want to know if you guys could elaborate a little bit on that as to why this took place the way it did. What are the benefits that this sealer does? What kind of sealer it is? You know, all of
Sure.
those things. I really would be very curious to see what the board has.
Right. Unfortunately, Tom would have answered most of those questions for you, but we had the same kind of questions here earlier, and he was able to answer them for us.
Okay.
Mr. Hull, you have some research on this, and I know Mike does too. One of the things that he had talked about was the need for the sealer was to add a little bit of age to the road, because it's in the process of, or in the line of events that are going to happen is replacing the road or putting a cover on it. So the sealant was designed to extend the life until the funds are available to do it. I understand you've had damage to your car, and we have an insurance policy that will, by all means,
not looking-
I know you're not, but I just want to let that be said to any
Sure
you and
that
anybody else that feels they
most
need
of-
to do it.
Most of the people that I've talked to
Yep.
are not looking for freebies,
Sure.
okay? Under any circumstances. I am just, what you just said makes sense, and I believe that you were told that.
Yes,
But the road that I live on is 36 years old.
correct.
The one next door to me, down from me, is 3 years old.
Yep.
At least I attended that board meeting. We have other roads, North Street, just about every road, I've driven on it. Those roads look like they're in perfect condition.
Can I just add to answer your question? So when Tom spoke, my understanding was, though some roads were new and some roads were old, that they were all done at the same time due to, it was like a funding thing. Like, we have to have a certain amount of roads so that it's cost effective. Was that everyone else's
Right.
understanding, or?
We had
Yes.
close to $90,000 that we could spend sealing these roads. I don't know for sure, and I don't remember exactly what he said, other than protecting the roads until a more permanent solution could happen. And we have a program of road maintenance. This is a delta that he gave us where all the roads in Dayton were listed. And age came up a number of times, the road conditions came up a number of times. Some of them could have been a brand-new road that's in tough shape for whatever reason, I don't know.
Oh, no, that road next door,
It's still a
down from me
good,
is in perfect
is good,
condition.
still a good road, right?
But it's 3 years old.
Yep.
I attended that board.
Yep.
To approve it.
Sure,
And it just made no sense how you can do one next door to the other. What you just said makes sense, but we're spending money the wrong way. If we're gonna be putting lipstick on a pig, that's okay. That's exactly what happened here.
yep.
Our road, I even asked the guy that was putting it down, I said, don't you guys seal the seams first, the cracks? He goes, no problem. I said, you should at least mow it, because there's grass coming up through it. And, you know, it's not the right thing in my
Right,
view, so.
right. I believe
just
they are
wanted to
going
say-
back to seal the cracks. He said
Well,
that.
Andy said that some of that, so there's like a dirt as well, that some of that's gonna go in some of the cracks as well.
Yes, cracks, when the cracks are this big.
Yeah,
but
not-
when the
yeah,
cracks
no.
are this big, it's not gonna seal anything.
No.
Okay, and that should have been the thing to be taken care of.
Okay.
Or that road should have been put to the side, not put sealer, do another road somewhere, but that one needs asphalt, not a lipstick on it.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm saying, so, thank you very much, and I apologize if I'm getting out of,
No, not at all. We have to have more answers for you.
I would
And if you
appreciate
don't
it.
mind, I'll try to get as many as I can and let you know.
I appreciate that, yes, Mr.
Two things, as I look at the, and we will get you a copy of this beta report.
Okay. Thank you.
Country Hill Drive, there are major rehabilitation, minor rehabilitation, routine maintenance, and preventative maintenance. And in those four categories, Country Hill Drive is rated second on the list, behind major. They are a minor rehab. And the estimated cost at this time is $80,207 to redo that road. What Mr. Ferry said was he recognizes the fact that rehabilitation is needed. Money is tight. And the sealer that was used on Country Hill was used to try to extend the life of the road. So hopefully they can have funds for that. Or hopefully there'll be no major road problems that take money away from his plan of getting to the road. The one area that we all admitted needs to improve is communication. And one of the things that we're going to do, because the 9 roads that were redone, that money comes from Chapter 90. So Mr. Ferry does know in advance what roads he's going to do once he has his Chapter 90 money and the budget has been approved. So what we're going to do on our end is to use more avenues to get communication out, including Board of Selectmen meetings.
Okay. So one of
We
the,
recognize that Facebook, not everyone does Facebook.
no, even if they had just put a little sign on the beginning, or maybe on the middle of the road, because everybody pays attention to the center of the road, not the side, just say, sealer is gonna be put down, such and such day. Okay? I would have respected that. But I was the first one out, and by the time I got to the end of it, the side of my truck was brown, and it's gray.
Thought you wanted to change the color.
That's what I did, exactly, you're right. No, but there's just things that didn't make sense to
Sure.
me. And the other thing is, what is the, what kind of material is this? Paul, you,
Oh, the MSDS sheet?
yes, do you have that?
Yeah.
This might
yeah.
be beneficial to you. You can take my copy and I'll get it. Yeah, I'll get it back from you at
Tom
some
Ferry
point.
did mention it was, did he say it was petroleum-based, and he said that it was not
Yes.
hazardous to
Right.
the environment?
Yep.
That's not a lot of information for you.
Okay.
But that is just what he had mentioned tonight.
For me, it's a lot of information.
There's a
but
lot there.
For the people that have asked me the questions,
Mm-hmm.
that's not, may not be a lot.
No, if I'm somebody asking about the environmental impact, I would probably want more information than that, but that's all I have for you
Yeah,
tonight.
You gotta understand, to me, everything would be almost okay, but I have a lot of people that, have asked me the same question, and I just wanna try to have some answers. that's all.
Okay. I think that will give you a lot of answers that you're looking for, the technical. We broached the subject tonight. It's more than I understand when they're talking about oil-based and the benefits and whatever. But I understand your concerns, and we'll address them as best we can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, do you want to come up?
Yeah, real quick.
Sure, absolutely.
Joe pretty much mentioned everything.
Covered it all.
Paul Silva, 265 Country Hill Drive. You mentioned the survey
like you had $90,000 to do
Yeah.
certain roads. Who was responsible to do that survey? The only reason I'm asking is because, like Joe mentioned, Country Hill Drive is 35 years old.
Sure.
I've been there 30 years. Why would they do Jennifer Lane when it's a 3 or 4 year
Right.
road? I just don't understand.
He explained that. The goal, because of the money situation, new roads that they're trying to extend, like Country Hill, so that they can have enough funds to do the $80,000 work that really needs to be done
Right.
to get that road done.
I understand.
So he was putting a Band-Aid on it to try to extend the life of it before you started having major potholes and serious structural issues with the road.
You know, I was just wondering why they went to
Yeah,
Jennifer.
because
it's a
some
new-
roads are gonna be replaced sooner than later.
Right.
So for a road that's going to be replaced, let's say within the next year, it made no sense to put a coating on it, to extend the life.
Right.
Jennifer Lane, getting a coating was going to extend the life for a longer period than it would for Country Hill Drive.
Okay.
So as much as it seems like, why is this getting a coating when North Street is pathetic? There are reasons to it, because North Street will probably be replaced. So putting a coating on that, to Joe's words, is lipstick on a pig.
The
Not to insult the pig.
Jenny Lane, the sealing was the final process of completing the road. It just took a while for them to do that because of
The
money.
one they did, conjuncted with Country Hill Drive, that was a final.
Well, Jenny Lane was recently put in, but they never put the final sealer on it when they put the road in.
Roads don't get sealer.
I-
See, this is what bothers me. Every job that everything that I've ever read, sealer, you have to wait 24 hours before you drive on it. 24 to 48 hours. We weren't told that this sealer was going in to actually protect ourselves from driving on it. And then they put the sealer down, don't tell us, and we still drive on it. You know, I don't get, I actually don't know of any place that sealer goes in on public roads.
They've done it for years, but I thought that was the purpose of the sand, so that you could drive on it immediately.
Now, you do your own research, and I will actually ask you in a couple of weeks, have you found a sealer that you can drive on it immediately after?
Sure.
I would love to hear that.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems to me, I think I talked with Michael about it, and we both came to the same conclusion that and Tom, that the sand, I'm sorry, not the salt, was put on so that you could drive on it and not pick up the tar on your tires, and then they supposedly swept the roads a couple of days after to get the sand up.
It was a week after.
A week after? I guess he's done them twice, and it's due for a third time.
On our street, they did it twice
Yeah.
because, as I say sometimes, we do it nice because we do it twice.
Yep.
So
And it's gonna be done a third time, is our understanding.
I don't know, we just had a nice rainstorm, so I don't.
Yeah,
know.
so who knows?
But I'm also concerned about, you know, the runoff of the sand.
Right.
If this sand is sticking to the cars the way it is it gonna stick to the infrastructure of the road? You know, and to these catch basins and,
Well, they covered the catch basins.
I'm sorry?
They covered the catch basins.
They may have covered one or two.
According to Tom, they did.
I know. I was there. I
Sure.
know that I saw them taking it out of one side, but not the other side.
Okay. As far as the sand and how quickly you can drive on it, I believe the type of oil they use is in that. Now, is sand gonna get on the residents' front of their yard? Yes. That's no different than salt and when they do it during the winter. But I don't know how long you can drive on it after. I would think almost immediately, because I can't see them putting it on the road, which they did to my road 3 or 4 years ago. They, as you know, it was a horrible road, and they put this fake tar down. They sealed it with salt and oil, and everybody was able to drive on it. But I think I experienced something similar to what you experienced in your well wheels. You know the cars I drive, and I didn't appreciate it at that time either. But they said that we could drive on the road. We were driving on it just as soon as the sand was down, just to get out of our house.
And it's interesting because I feel like we're the first ones that come up here to complain. Or actually not, because I know a few roads
Yeah.
that assured me that they complained enough. What that was, I didn't hear.
Karen took most of the complaints. I got a few phone calls, but I know Lenny took them personally as well. I don't know if Nicole did any,
I
but
actually called Karen first and I said, you should form a special line, a special phone line for this because you're gonna get a lot of calls.
sure. And they came. But let's meet in a couple weeks. You can come back and we'll try to have more answers for you with Tom Ferry. He can do it best than I can.
I understand, but anyways, I thank you for all.
Thank you.
And my last question,
Sure.
which you may be able to answer, maybe not. What percentage of the budget, the town budget, goes for infrastructure in the town? Is that broken down in the budget where I can get online and look at that, or is there a line item on that where?
I don't think it's a line item, but it's part of the highway budget. This year we had a study done that took all of the roads in, actually I think I gave you the copy just now. It has all of the roads in Dayton, in the condition of each one,
Yep.
and when they will get done. As the funds are available, they'll knock that list down.
But you don't have a steady budget line
No,
item for
not that I'm aware of.
infrastructure? Okay.
That specifically says
That
road
answers my
maintenance, no.
We do get 300,000, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Mull, but
No,
I believe it's $300,000 each year of Chapter 90 money.
Yes.
Hey, that's what we pay for taxes on our street every year. Not that that matters, but, no, I was just curious to see what percentage, if you did have a percentage for infrastructure and what the balance was, but
Sure.
thank you very much.
Thank
I
you, sir.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go back to our original order of business, which was old business, which there is none. So we're going to move on to new business. Review and discuss special town meeting informational overview.
I think we should do
You're welcome.
this quick because we do have a 21 slide PowerPoint deck.
Okay.
That I will try to fly through, but also provide everything to the residents. And I actually had it up. But I must have put it out the window. Just so everyone here and everyone at home is able to follow along.
Sure.
I have actually updated the website, so if everyone at home is interested in this, all they have to do is go to the homepage of our website. They actually on the left on the news flash, they go to special town meeting set for October 30th. Click on that. And then we go to the PowerPoint summary overview of the articles. That is downloading. Okay. So, we are planning, as we know, we're planning for a special town meeting, like on October 30th, which is this coming Monday night. We have in order to, in order to fund the priorities we're proposing, at the special town meeting, we're relying on our FY20. We're relying on our FY24 certification of free cash, which a few weeks ago was certified to be 1.76 million. This generally follows prior year trends. If you go back to what we we're anticipating to project the end of August, for example. We did have an initial conservative lower projection based on a question that we had at this time regarding about how the DOR would handle the outstanding property tax liability from FY23. We did also have increases in one-time revenues, like in 2 months of, in 2 months of health insurance premium holidays. Just the health insurance premium holidays alone accounted for $300,000. Like we did in FY23 also have police department staffing changes. And all those things contributed to a higher than expected free cash certification. In the FY24 budget, because in the FY24 budget, because we do look at trends, the FY24 budget has already been updated actually to reflect these issues in a lot of places. At this point we are planning a cautious approach to projecting future free cash. Based on the targeted increase we made with FY24 revenues, a decrease as I just mentioned in FY24 expenditures, no guarantee that the one-time issues we had in FY23 will continue. So just moving on from there. In terms of what is actually in the warrant, we do have a 23 article warrant. In which we're continuing to place a strong priority on maintaining fiscal discipline. We are projecting excess levy capacity, an excess levy capacity with our new growth number, and also based on the FY24 budget that actually was approved at the annual town meeting in June, plus everything on the town meeting. On October 30th of having an excess levy capacity around $750,000. But to get up to that $750,000, we are proposing uses of free cash to decrease the tax rate in the amount of $250,000. We also proposing additional $46,000 by funding the FY23 snow and ice deficit with free cash. Also included in the warrant is an additional $300,000 for the Main Street project. I have other warrant articles to meet debt obligations for a fire engine, in street sweeper agreements. Also to establish stabilization funds for cannabis and opioid funds. And also to fund our annual. And also to fund our annual. Annual amount to the OPEB trust fund. We are planning on actually from that $1.76 million, we're planning on a remaining $735 free cash holdback. And the $735,000 free cash holdback will be aimed to supplement stabilization balances. And also to fund capital investments at the annual town meeting in June.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
What if you present that at the
Yep.
beginning?
Yep.
But then, not to, people get all 23 articles at one time.
Yep.
Because they're not going to remember.
Agreed.
That when Article 3 comes up for a vote.
Yep.
You present the slide at that point. So it'd be more work on your part.
Yep.
But during the meeting, present the slide for each article that
Yes.
we have.
So, the ability we have to do that and to provide that overview or quick, quick unbiased summary that we do.
Yeah.
That would be up to the town moderator.
Okay.
And, from what I've heard, he's not a fan of PowerPoint presentations.
No, he's not.
So like I don't with him actually he has to be on board for that to
Okay.
happen.
So if we can get him on board, how do you feel about it?
I actually think it's extremely helpful. I think it's extremely helpful. It's what other towns do as well.
Right, okay. Thank you. That was all.
Nope.
I have a question in
Yep.
regards to the use of free cash.
Yes.
And under that, you talk about establish a stabilization fund for cannabis.
Yep.
My understanding is that the money, cannabis, that is a directed fund, as currently we have one connection.
Yes, sir.
And the first year, they gave us a check for $25,000.
Yes.
This past year, they gave us a check for $35,000.
Yes, sir.
That money goes directly, correct me if I'm wrong, into the stabilization fund for cannabis, but no additional
Yes,
free
however, we
cash.
haven't had that as of yet, so that revenue, that's exactly the type of revenue, that will effective July 1st, so 2023, those revenues will go there. And in addition to that, the $35,000 we received at the end of FY '23, as you mentioned, will be deposited there as well.
So that 35,000, is that part of the 1.7
Yes.
million free cash?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Are there any other questions on that before I get into the articles?
Nope.
Okay, so we have Article 1, that is very traditional, you hear reports to town officials. Article 2, is a proposed article to pay FY '23, unpaid bills in the amount of about $4,600. And we do have a variety of very small bills. And so we have a small variety of FY '23 bills that came in after the deadline that we need to pay. Those are an overview, of those, the type of invoices we received from the PD, from the assessor's office, from Concom, Ian from the treasurer collector's office. Article 3 is actually the third year of a 7-year purchase and lease payment for a new fire engine. We don't actually have the fire engine yet. However, we do expect to take delivery by the end of November on that. Article 4, as I mentioned, is to fund our snow and ice deficit. Actually, before it hits our tax bill. In our snow and ice deficit, in FY '23 was just over $46,000.
It's the lowest it's been in a long time.
Yes, we really like that number.
So can we express that to the residents that are there, that we had a great year? So don't anticipate it every year?
Yes, and I agree, and we can talk to the snow gods and everyone else at the same time. The almanac isn't exactly predicting a friendly type of winter from what I'm seeing this year, but yes. We also have, actually in the warrant it says, actually in the warrant, it says the fourth out of, it says the fourth out of the 5-year payment, it's actually the last. So we're gonna, have a need to update that in the motion on the floor. But on October 30th, hopefully we'll have the ability to finally pay the street sweeper off, which will be really good.
So it's the fourth of the 5 years?
Huh?
It's the fourth of the 5 years?
Actually in the warrant, it is actually listed at, it is listed as the fourth of the 5 years,
but it's actually the fifth.
Yes, sir, it's actually to the good. We also, in Article 6, we have a proposed $90,000 article that would fund non-resident student vocational transportation and transportation costs. We do have a resident in town. Within Norfolk Aggie. We as a town, not the school district, do have a responsibility to fund the educational tuition and all. And also the students' transportation. We reached out to the state on that. State also confirmed that we as a town have that requirement. Article 7 as I mentioned earlier, would allow us to continue building up funding to complete the $2.5 million Main Street project. And this would give us the ability to increase our allocated funding before that project of a $2.5 million project. It would bring our balance up to $1.15 million. Actually, earlier in the meeting, I mentioned the increase in aggregation costs. In Article 8, actually has a proposed increase of $40,000 in our operation budget to be able to absorb those for the town. Article 9, as I mentioned, proposing $90,000 into the town's OPEB plus fund. We have an approximately $9.5 million OPEB liability, and however, the town over the last over the last 10 to 15 years has built up a reserve of approximately $1.8 million, and this will continue that. So we don't have we don't have a deficit that's caused by the obligation and liability of employee health insurance and other benefits in the future years. We also are proposing out of the out of the 1.7 million like in free cash, to include $250,000 of that to help decrease the FY24 tax rate. And as I mentioned, that would bring our excess levy capacity up to around $750,000. In FY23, our excess levy capacity was $833,000. Article 11 is proposing $28,000 to fund the 5-year revaluations like of Dayton Power and Aquaria. That is something that DOI requires us to do. Article 12 proposes $15,000 for highway department bucket truck repairs. That's pretty self-explanatory. Article 13, 14, and 15 actually, Articles 13, 14, and 15 propose to establish the cannabis stabilization fund we mentioned earlier. And also to create the effective date of July 1st, of 2023. I can also, as I mentioned, to appropriate approximately $36,000 in FY23 revenues into it. Articles 16 and 17 of would basically do the same things for funds that the town has been able to recoup from the opioid settlements. Articles 18 and 19, those are planning board articles are dealing with changes to the site plan review process. And also to the town's still bylaws as well is included in Article 19. In Article 20, we do have a proposed town budget bylaw. In the proposed town budget bylaw seeks to define the components. All the town's annual budget process. Article 21 deals with amendments to town bylaws. So this proposed amendment to the town bylaws would specify that proposed amendments to the town's general bylaws shall only be decided by town meeting by no less than a 2/3 vote. And then Article 22 would also Article 22 also proposes to deal with the town's general bylaw by specifying that that the town moderator is that only a printing authority for the FinCom. And then in Article 23 we get to leave.
You have Article 24 here.
Yeah, no, that was a typo. I've already updated it.
Oh, did you? Oh, good job.
So,
I have a question in regards to Article 18.
Article 18.
Would it, because Section 5460, the way that is
Oh,
worded,
Article 18. Yes.
could we put some quotation marks in there? Replace the word "and" with
Oh, yep.
"or"
Yep.
on determining what
Yep.
so people know.
Yeah, like it reads way better. Yep. I'll be happy to do that. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, are there any other questions?
No, I think it's great. I wish we could break it up so that the town moderator allows us to do it a little bit anyway. Because there's a lot of good points that need to be explained, and I think people are just going to lose it before the warrant is actually read and gone over.
Will these packets be at town meeting? So people could,
The regular warrant will be at town meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
like,
I
we
mean,
include
with the
yeah, we do
explanation.
include the warrant. We haven't yet actually, like had packets of these. I mean, the printing on top of the warrant, that does have the potential to be an issue. Like, I think it is important to note that, like, I don't have, I don't have any really, I don't have any personal opinion or recommendation included here.
Yeah.
I mean, I act as I am, actually directed to, by your board, so I don't view this, as any type of, as any type of biased document.
No, it's just an interpretation of the warrant.
Yeah,
article.
exactly, so.
I see the value of doing each individual slide based on,
Yeah.
it would help.
I wonder if we can talk to Bill. Worst case scenario, he says no. It's not going to take up any more time. It's just,
it could actually help speed things up.
yeah.
So people have better understanding what they're voting on.
But yeah, but
Great.
that's that. It's it's online, it's online, it's on, as I mentioned, it's already been uploaded to the website.
Yep.
So they'll be there forever, so,
Sure, thank you.
no problem, thank you.
That's great. Okay, moving on to B, acceptance of the $40,000 Community Compact Cabinet Housing Production Plan Grant.
Hi, it's me again.
Discussing that. Yeah.
I'm very happy about, actually being awarded a $40,000 grant from the state, to help us recreate, a housing production plan. These plans, are extremely important to have when dealing with a 40B developer. They actually, if done and done right, they have the ability, to actually help the town have more flexibility in dealing with 40Bs. We had one last updated, at the end of 2013. And then we had an effort that was underway, in actually in 2019, that was actually never finished.
Right.
So having this on the books, will help us with the state, it would help us deal with developers when we need to. Yeah, like, I mean, I
It'd help
think
us get
it's
more
something we have
grants
to.
Too, right?
Huh?
Won't it help us get more grants?
Yes, yeah, like extremely help with that as well. With dealing with infrastructure issues and so forth. Yes, sir.
All right, we need a motion on the floor.
I actually, just
You have a
one
question?
quick question. It might mean two. Mr. Mullin, do
Yes.
we have to authorize you
Oh, yes, I'm
as the
sorry.
signatory?
Yes, I should have mentioned that, if that's okay with everyone.
Two votes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that the town of Dayton accepts the 40,000 Community Compact Cabinet Housing Production Plan grant from the Department of Revenue.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Town Administrator Michael Mullen as the signatory for the Community Compact Cabinet Housing Production Plan grant.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. On to C, review, discuss, and act, sewer department surplus equipment. Probably just take it all as printed.
Yes. Yes, like as proposed. That would be fine, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the sewer department surplus equipment as presented.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Thank you. Then approval of the warrants.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the town of Dayton pay the warrant of October 19th, 2023, Article 17A-24 for $121,886.18. Article 17B-24, $118,451.49.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the town of Dayton pay the warrant for October 26, 2023. Item 18A-24, $134,297.89. And item 18B-24, $271,406.28.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Correspondence, a letter from the Colonel Robert Perry regarding Veterans Day plans and preparations. Robert G. Perry, 1531 Stenzione Drive, North Dayton, Mass. 02764, dated 19 October 2023. Dayton Board of Selectmen, 979 Somerset Ave, Dayton, Mass. 02715. Dear members of the board, Mr. Hague, Mr. Raymond Hague, our Veterans agent, has requested I organize and lead the Veterans Day ceremonies this year. I request your approval to meet with the police chief, the fire chief, the highway superintendent, and other department heads to discuss the plan, their support and participation in this ceremony. I will update the board when plans are complete. Thank you in advance for your support, signed by Robert G. Perry, Colonel USAF, retired. So, does he actually need a vote to talk to these people? Is that what he's, or is he just making us aware?
He is. I mean, honestly, I think he's hoping for both.
Okay.
He wanted to actually have the board aware, but I think,
Some kind of approval.
yeah, having the board's approval to do so, I think would be helpful.
So we need a motion on the floor to accept Mr. Perry's letter as written and to let him seek the advice from the major departments in the town.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant Mr. Robert G. Perry permission to meet with the police chief, the fire chief, the highway superintendent, and other department heads to discuss and plan their support and participation in the annual Veterans Day ceremony.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye. Then minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen Department Head meeting minutes of October 4th, 2023.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Peter Karen is an aye.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes of October 11th, 2023.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye. Adjournment.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen is an aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.